Appreciate that. We are the Faculty Woodwind Quintet from the University of Mississippi. My name is Adam Estes. I teach saxophone and bassoon. And this is Michael Rowlett, Professor of Clarinet. Caroline Kinsey, Professor of Horn. Katie Pique, Professor of Oboe. And Diane Wong, Professor of Flute. So we're excited to join you today. First piece we did was 3 movements from 5 total by Farkas, titled, what's the name of it? 5 Nation Dances?
Early Hungarian dances.
Early Hungarian. The next piece we're going to play for you is a more contemporary piece by William Albright. And the title of the work is Abiding Passions. We're just going to play the second movement, which is titled Ardor, which just means emotion. And there's a lot of real interesting colors in this. At times it's difficult to figure out who's playing what throughout this. It's an interesting rhythmic compositional devices. We call it additive rhythms. Sometimes the composer's added an extra 8th note to a bar or taken one away, kind of Stravinsky in its approach. So I hope you enjoy this piece.
The next piece we're going to perform is actually a piece for clarinet and saxophone. We're going to, Dr. Estes and I are going to step out of the group here for a minute. And this is also a contemporary piece. The piece you just heard was written in 1988. This one was written, I believe, in 2004, 5? Yeah, about then. And this piece is by Gregory Wanamaker. And this is one of the, there are many composers now writing for this duo of clarinet and saxophone, and I think a lot of them were inspired by this piece. Mr. Wanamaker did such a good job of blending the colors of these two instruments and created a really compelling piece. It's just called Duo Sonata. The first movement is called Departure, and the second movement is called Elegy. And there's actually 4 movements. We're just going to do the first 2 for you. In the first one, we start out together, and since it's called Departure, we kind of like gradually come apart and then reunite at various points. It's kind of interesting to hear that dialogue. And then the second movement was actually written, Gregory Wanamaker said he wrote it as a response to the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. And he actually rescored this piece several times for different instruments, and I guess maybe settled kind of on this arrangement. And we really enjoy this piece because the first movement is flashy and fun, and then the second movement really exploits some of the lyrical qualities of our instruments. So we hope you enjoy these 2 movements for clarinet and saxophone. Would you like an aid? Sure.
different in contrast to the previous piece that you just heard. This is a 4 movement work. We are only doing the first movement. It starts off with a very slow, beautiful introduction, and then turns into an allegretto, very fast and lively, infused with a little bit of humor here and there. So it's very light and lively.
And if you hear something that you think is humorous, it's okay to laugh. Or chuckle, snicker. It's okay.
So you can appreciate Dr. Estes here. He's gone back and forth between all these instruments. He's showing his versatility here. He's able to just pick it up and play.
Speaking of, I need to play a note on this before we start. Some instruments it's easier to go back and forth than others. These two aren't so bad. The sax and the flute, on the other hand, it's a different story. No.
Halfway through this piece, we'll all trade it.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
And the next piece we're going to play is by Percy Granger. You guys heard of Percy Granger? Yes, probably. He wrote a lot of band music. I was always in band, and then when I got into orchestra at college, I realized I wrote orchestra music too. Percy Granger is actually from Austria, and then went to school in Germany, and then he moved to England. And I, for a long time, thought he was British before I looked him up. And it's because he did a lot of arranging of British folk songs, and he lived a long time in England. And then he ended up moving to the United States, and this is where he spent the rest of his life here, and died here as well. The next piece we're going to play is called Walking Tune. And he wrote a lot of music that was just really relaxed and fun and not complicated. And this is one of those things, one of those pieces. It's just kind of like just kind of walking music. So it's really nice, and it's very luscious and nice melodies. I think you'll like it.
Hey, Caroline, you teach at the University of Mississippi, right?
What did I say?
You said the University of Memphis.
I'm so sorry.
I teach at the University of Mississippi.
I live in Memphis. So.
But tell them what you do in Memphis.
I play. I'm a principal horn for this year for the Memphis Symphony as well. So Memphis, Mississippi. I apologize. So it's Mississippi.
We are very happy to have Caroline come down and join us from Memphis. That's all right. All right. All right. You know, when you stand up in front of people.
I'm not at the University of Memphis. I'm at the University of Mississippi. Okay.
All of that. guys are involved in some sort of chamber music, in some sort of small ensemble like this. I know you have yeah, great. I know Wyatt things. I mean, Wyatt, what are you doing?
Sax Quintet.
Saxophone quartet, we got some sax. What are some other the chamber music groups that we have going on out there? Brass quintet. I hear murmurs.
Steel band.
Steel band, all right. Yes, excellent. We have one of those too. Very fun, very enjoyable. I played in the steel band myself while I was a student at Florida State. Very enjoyable. Yeah, I'm not sure these guys knew that, but I did. Well, one of the things I wanted to just call attention to a little bit is the way that we are communicating with each other while we're up here on stage. And for me, this is one of my favorite parts about playing chamber music, because in many ways it has a lot of the fun qualities of solo playing, that you get to express yourself and be an individual and be heard as an individual, but then at the same time you're kind of part of a team. And so we're constantly, the whole time we're up here, we're kind of communicating with each other, and you could see Dr. Estes and I doing it when we were playing the duo. And then what are some of the ways that you see us like communicating as we're playing together here? Eye contact, yes, definitely. Other things? Breathing, yeah, right. I mean, that's something you have to kind of work on, is to breathe in sort of a preparatory way. A lot of the times those breaths are kind of like the conductor's gesture, for sure. I see a lot of students keep time with this part of their body, their foot, and I do too sometimes, especially when I'm counting a difficult passage. I'm tapping my toe a little inside my shoe. But you might also notice that we're keeping time a lot of times with our upper body. You notice that? Like we're kind of nodding at each other. I was thinking about this in that last one. We had kind of a retard right in the middle of the piece, and we all kind of looked up at each other and gave a little confirmation, like, and now we're back to the tempo. And so I just wanted to, that's something, and maybe something you guys can carry away a little bit too, as something that when you're trying to communicate with your fellow players, like, I can't really see their feet very well, but we can do a lot of upper body things, and a lot of those things are things that kind of help. The next piece we're going to do, Professor Wong, did you want to talk about it, or am I stealing your moment?
I will just say one thing, two things actually. I heard you guys recently won a football game, correct? So as we would say in our land, hotty toddy, but I don't know what you guys say. And I'm just going to say one little thing. The next piece we're playing is by a composer that maybe some of you, do any of you ever listen to MTV on Saturdays? Do you? Okay, then this joke is for the adults, the older adults in the room. John Cheatham is the name of this composer of the next piece we're going to play, which is called Quintet for Woodwinds. John is actually the long-lost brother of two of the sponsors of the show, Car Talk, Dewey Cheatham and Hal. No, I gotcha. No, he's not. The thing that you want to listen to in this one is that the meter is constantly changing from 2-2 to 2-4 to 5-8. So this is where that body language that Dr. Rowlett was talking about comes in very handy, because not only are we all going in our minds, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are syncing up together with our body language. So pay close attention to the shifting meter of this piece by Cheatham, John Cheatham.
Also, those of you who said you had a brass quintet, I think Mr. Cheatham also has a very fine scherzo for brass quintet. So you might look him up. Cheet, H-A-N. Anyway, this is what he wrote for Woodward.
A few questions. How many of you guys are looking to continue on in your music programs at Ole Miss? Very good. How many woodwind students do we have? Awesome. Great. How many are in your second year here at ICC? First year? All right. Now we want to make it known to you that this is a great relationship ICC's had in the past with Ole Miss, and we hope that continues. We have a number of students that you guys probably know that are currently at Ole Miss. I encourage you to ask them if you're interested in going to Ole Miss in the future about their experiences. Maybe, try to hook up with a friend and come on the campus with us, spend some time at the school to get a taste of what that transition will be like. And certainly, we encourage you to look at our website and contact us. You can visit with us after we finish today if you've got any questions. Maybe talk to your teacher about, getting contact information and so forth, information about scholarships and the like. All that information you can find online, but we're happy to, discuss it with you in person, on the phone, or through email. We want that door to be open with you. So while we have a moment here, I just want to see if anybody has any questions that we can answer to the group. Here. Anybody? Feel free.
About the pieces we're playing, or this
About
combination
the
of
experience at Ole Miss. Any? No? That's okay. It's fine. Well, we're going to play a couple more pieces, so in between this piece and the final one that we play for you, if something comes up, then raise your hand, and we can all discuss that too. No more questions? Or not any questions? Can anybody? No? All right. So the next piece we're going to play is a Venezuelan waltz, and it's written by the famous clarinetist and saxophonist, composer Paquito de Rivera. Most famous probably in the saxophone world is for his piece called Wapango. It surfaces many times in quartets and various things, and string quartets too. But this one comes from a collection of pieces called Tropical Airs, and this is the Venezuelan waltz. I hope you enjoy.
guys are a great audience. We have one more piece for you. Dr. S.
Yeah, maybe I want to follow up just to see if anybody's thought about a question at this point. No?
How the horn works? Why do I put my hand in
Anything about how many ensembles we have, what kind of ensembles we have on this? Scholarships?
Are there any horn
Yes.
players out there?
What kind of ensemble?
Oh, you are, okay.
Wonderful. We have saxophone quartets, we have woodwind quintets, we have bassoon quartets. We have concert bands, we have 4 concert bands in the spring, we have a marching band, we have 2 full jazz ensembles, and we have a string orchestra, well, a full orchestra, not just strings, winds and brass and percussion is part of that too. Number of participating music majors and non-music majors. Okay, so there's plenty of opportunity. Other questions? Okay, well, make sure that if you got any questions, look us up online, send us a note, give us a call, we'd be happy to visit with you about it. Okay?
Feel free also, if you want you to come on down after. I heard that there's not a class in here after this, so if you'd like to come down, ask us some questions, or even if you'd like to be in touch with us some more, we'd love to. I mean, I'm happy to visit with clarinet players. If you want to come over to Oxford and have a lesson sometime, I'd be happy to, and I know all the other folks here are exactly the same. If you'd like to come over, we'd be happy to see you. And so if you want to share contact information like email addresses and things, just come on down and we'll chat with you. Our last piece that we're going to do is, let's do the rumba of the 5 easy dances. We'll keep it on a Latin theme here. This is a very popular work for woodwind quintet. It's a set of 5 dances, and we're going to do the last one, which happens to be a rumba. So if you feel like rumba-ing, knock yourselves out. Okay. I couldn't see the rumba-ing out of the corner of my eye. I think it was going on at least inside. Thank you guys. Feel free to come down and say hey. Nice job.
What's that?